We could just start with the list.
Okay.
Like,
all right. So I'll start this week's list. And a funny thing that I did before this week's list, Steve, is because when you type in adult party games, there's a lot of Pinterest action going on. So I joined Pinterest. And when you join Pinterest, they ask for 5 interests.
What'd you go with?
They kind of hijack it from your Facebook page, but I picked one wild card. So I did NFL, NBA, Wes Anderson, Bruce Springsteen, and just in case shit gets real, which is an interesting Pinterest page.
What was the 5th one again?
Survival tactics.
That's great.
It's more like in the wilderness rather than a zombie apocalypse. But I digress. My number 10 in this week's My Number 10 Party Game is something that I've never played, but I once saw in an episode of Mad Men. I would probably never play this. Seems a little bit childish. Seems like it could possibly be played at a swingers party. It's not called Pass the Key Bowl. It is called Pass the Orange, however.
And I remember this episode.
The way it works is the orange is under your chin, and boy, girl, man, woman, you just pass it, and if it hits the floor, you lose. It's really not very good, but none of these games are.
And I mean, this was in general, like, this was a harder one to figure out. Like, just to figure, you just had to use your memory, kind of. There was no, like, Googling wasn't really helping a ton for, like, finding, like, a mass list that we can whittle down. For me, at least, it didn't. I couldn't figure it out. So I feel like you're gonna definitely have one that I, like, should have remembered, I feel like, and I just won't have.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this was a really difficult one to research.
Yeah,
I might have got one off of Pinterest that I'll use that I've never heard of, but it sounds awesome. But that's you're up with Snake Draft 10th and 9th selections.
All right. My 10th is something that would be going on in my personal hell was this game would be played by a group of people right next to me, and it's Electronic Catchphrase.
I love that game.
It might be like, this is actually not top 10. I just had to talk about Electronic Catchphrase. It might be my least favorite thing in the world, or it's on the list.
It's so easy. It's so easygoing and fun. It involves no competition.
Oh, well, do you know me?
I know you're super competitive, so we were already going to differ there.
How do you win game? How do you win Electronic Catchphrase?
You don't. And if you try to team up, then I don't want to play. I'm like the guy who comes to the basketball court and I just want to shoot around. I don't want to scrimmage.
And it just has that beeping. It's so annoying. And just people screaming out words next to me. I just don't want to be around it. It's the worst.
This is funny. Okay. Because it's a little higher on my list than you have it.
It's the worst game. We had one in our office for a while until I hit it.
You hit it in our office. That is extreme. Luckily, someone could just download a phone app for it.
Yeah. One of our biggest fans, Carly, loves Electronic Catchphrase and loves to play it at parties. She already knows my opinions on it, so I'm not breaking any news to her. So we're gonna get away from my personal hell and move to a number 9. So I was just like asking people about adult party games, and this is one I never would have thought of, and it's technically an adult party game, and it's a game that my wife has played at a bachelorette party, and it's called Pin the Junk on the Hunk.
Say that again.
It's Pin the Junk on the Hunk.
Okay, it's very adult.
It's just adult pin the tail on the donkey.
I am envious because I wanted to put in some of the kid ones. I was like trying to figure out a way to incorporate a pinata.
That's how I got that one on there.
It's not bad. That's way better than 9. There will be worse games on your list above that.
I would much rather play Pin the Junk on the Hunk than Electronic Catchphrase. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, I would not.
And you're right. It's probably, I've never played it though, so that's why I couldn't rank it higher. I probably would like to play it more than at least 2 of the games left on my list. All right. What's your number 9?
It's a terrible game, and it's a board game, and I hate it. But I do have an anecdote, which is sometimes why things make the list. It's called Battle of the Sexes, and it's terrible. The only reason it's on my list is because I was playing this game about 4 or 5 years ago at a party, and the men were getting destroyed by the women until we cheated and looked at the answers while they weren't paying attention, and then we won. Which I think really does kind of reveal that men, in fact, are the smarter sex.
Well, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to win, man.
Exactly. Just win, baby. And we have the tenacity. Maybe smarter is the wrong word. Maybe more ruthless or just worse sex. Maybe that's the whole point of the game. Is the battle of the sexes, and you just reveal the worst version of yourself, and that makes you the loser. And maybe that's like it's like an inside thing among women where they're just like, let's prove how terrible men are.
I'm not gonna lie.
After we beat their ass.
I don't even know anything about this game, but it just sounds terrible. Just the name of it sounds terrible.
And then it's like, so it'll be like asking girls questions like, how many lug nuts are in? I don't even know what lug nuts go in. See, I'm a man. That's supposed to be one of the man questions. And then
so
ask a woman,
like the women man question, like man quote unquote man questions, and the men quote unquote women questions.
It's super gendered.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm good at the women questions, so they'll be like, who did Joey end up with on Dawson's Creek? Obviously, I know it's Pacey, so like we'll get that question right.
I feel like I would be good at it too. So what's your number 8?
My number 8 is a game I hate called Scattergories.
Oh.
Guessing it'll be on your list. I mean, I know that there's an horrendous anecdote that you will tell when this comes around for you.
I will tell this anecdote later on when it's on my list. I actually don't hate this game as much as a lot of these other ones, but there's reasons I can't play it anymore.
All right, well, let me say this.
That's a teaser for later on.
Stay tuned. Let me say this. A game that involves absolutely no communication for a prolonged period of time is not the point of a party.
That's a great point. It's an amazing point.
It's not what you're supposed to do at a party.
It's an amazing point.
Like it's like shut down talking for 5 minutes while you make a list of things. And we like lists.
Yeah. That's kind of why I put it. But I severely overrated it, and the more I think about it. I just also rated it high because I have a good story about it, and because it's become a bigger part of my life because of that incident.
Yeah, I mean, well, I hope it's coming up soon. So those are my.
No, it's not. All right. So I'm on 8 and 7.
Yeah, and I hope our special. I hope our other special surprise is forthcoming in the next.
Yep. Oh yeah, it is. And these two go together, kind of. So I'm just gonna say it. And this is not. I am saying this in the correct order. Number 8 is Cards Against Humanity, and number 7 is Apples to Apples.
Well, I agree that Apples to Apples is better because Cards Against Humanity. Okay, Apples to Apples sucks, but Cards Against Humanity
both suck.
Cards Against Humanity is the worst sequel to Apples to Apples.
Do you know that the people? Okay, so let's just, I guess, talk about Cards Against Humanity and why it's the worst game ever.
You once said something to me, and for one, then my life just made sense when you said it. And I never thought of it this way, and I always hated this game. But you really just kind of, please enlighten our audience. You might change some lives right now.
Okay, so like if you haven't played either of those games, Cards Against Humanity and Apples to Apples are basically the same game. It's like there's a phrase or something, and that one person's card has, and the other people have to play a card. They have a handful of cards that has the best answer, right? And then the person who started it out picks the winner just based on their personal opinion, I guess, right? Which, first off, bogus. There's no like real way to win this game because there's no real rules in refereeing. It's just like chaos, and you're on everybody's whim, which is why I hate it. But Cards Against Humanity was like part of the fun of Apples to Apples was trying to come up with a really funny answer, not necessarily the right answer, right? Cards Against Humanity was like, we're just gonna make really raunchy, offensive cards, and everybody's gonna think it's hilarious. But it's not hilarious because it's too easy.
Uncomfortable humor is not uncomfortable if everyone agrees to be uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Then it's just bullshit. I
Yeah,
can't
you
explain
just
it
have, like,
better than that.
bunch of cards that say like Adolf Hitler, Nazi, AIDS, like gross stuff too. Like it's not like funny then. Like you already have them in your hand. It's just
No, and I don't even think the people who write it are smart.
no. It's probably made by Adam Sandler.
No, it's I actually think it's a Chicago-based company, and as someone with the career aspirations in humor, I probably shouldn't go too deep on it, but I'm gonna. Um, Here's the thing. I'm going to make an analogy that I have written in a bit that you helped me write about this. After this, I was so moved that I had to write. No one wants to go to a prostate to get their prostate examined because it's something you dread and you expect.
Yeah.
If you're with a woman and she examines your prostate in a biblical way, maybe you're more into it. It's unexpected. I'm not saying I am or I am not. I'm just saying that the unexpected makes for more fun.
So Cards Against Humanity is a prostate exam, and the rare when you could get the perfect funny response in Apples to Apples is possibly the shocker.
The shocker on a man. On a man. It's being applied to you in my analogy, by the way. Not you personally, Steve. You men in this analogy.
Cards Against Humanity is for people who aren't funny to feel funny. There it is.
Yes. The one time I played this game and I introduced myself to a guy named Brendan, and he was so excited we had the same name he couldn't stop talking about it all night long. There are like 6 Brendans in my family. So I did not share in his excitement about this detail.
All right. And people love this game, so I'm glad we just offended probably everybody listening.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what?
Be better, people.
America's full of stupid people.
Be better.
Don't be one.
Also, though, I learned when researching. So one of the ways I did research for this was Google adult party games on Amazon to see what came up to buy.
Oh, that's actually that was a smart one. Probably better than Pinterest.
Apples to Apples. The people who made Apples to Apples made a version of Cards Against Humanity called Rotten Apples that probably nobody has ever bought. Because you could like get Cards Against Humanity for like free.
They expanded to they screwed up and didn't get.
Man. But hey, as much as we make fun of Cards Against Humanity, those people made a lot. Probably made a decent amount of money by just ripping off a game and putting some raunchy words in it.
Yep.
Good for them. It's America.
And here I am in my palatial estate. Anyway, I don't really know where I was going with that one.
As you're literally looking out the window at Lake Michigan.
I know I was going to complain about my life, but it's actually not that bad. There's yachts in front of me. I don't own them, but they are in my purview. Or just my periphery. Purview is hypothetical. I'm literally looking at yachts right now.
All right, man. What's your number 7?
I sound so much richer than I am with that whole topic of conversation.
I mean, you got this classy clock behind you that I can see.
You know, have you noticed it never moves? It's broken.
No, it doesn't. It's always the same time.
It's always 6:30 at my house. Number 7 is something that I didn't actually look up the name for because I thought of it on the bus ride when I was coming home today. And I kind of enjoyed it. And it's totally the kind of game that liberal elitist would love. What it is, it's made by the New Yorker. And it has cartoons. And your job with a teammate is to caption the cartoons. And then it's the same principles as Apples to Apples. You vote on a winner. And it's kind of weak sauce. But
I've never heard of this.
I just call it New Yorker cartoon caption game. Because you know how the New Yorker has cartoons that you do, or like Elaine Bennis and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I vaguely know of it. I don't read the New Yorker. It's too highbrow for me.
It's way too long. It's every week, and it's like a novel. How am I going to read Sports Illustrated and the New Yorker? The answer is I'm not. And I'm still waiting for the New Yorker swimsuit issue.
I'm more of a fan of The Economist than the New Yorker.
I actually, if I'm going to read one of those kind of highbrow ones, I do Vanity Fair.
Vanity Fair is good too.
They always have some terrible celebrity puff piece. skip that, and then they have some cool thing about like the guys. That story about the guys who cracked the slot machine code in Vegas. That was in Vanity
Oh,
Fair.
I totally read that. That was a huge
That
article.
story was awesome. Like sensational, do nothing journalism is my favorite kind of journalism.
When this
Apparently.
podcast is over, everybody Google Vanity Fair cracking slot machine. Oh, video poker code.
Video poker. It was video poker
It's a really good read.
about how stupid people are.
All right,
just
man.
let them try.
What's your number 6?
Number 6. I alluded to that some of these are for games are for swinger parties. Well, this one definitely is, but it's a fun game that I've actually played in my life. Not since I was 9, but it could be applied to an adult party.
Oh,
Twister.
Twister is totally a party game. I didn't even think of it.
Yeah, I mean I haven't played in a while, but it could conceivably be at a party anytime.
Yeah.
And now that I've taken up yoga, maybe I'd be awesome at it.
I don't think you would be.
I don't think I would either because I'm the worst person in my yoga class.
I've only been to yoga once, and I just tried to win yoga, and it didn't end well.
A guy told me at yoga to stop trying so hard. He's like, it's not like golf. It's like you're competing against yourself. And I was like, but isn't that kind of what golf is?
Yeah, it is
was like-
exactly what golf is.
I was like, your analogy sucks.
you're like, and I don't even golf.
And I hate golf.
I'm not gonna lie. I beat some people at my yoga that were like dressed in like hardcore yoga stuff. Like this guy in just like his shorty shorts laid down twice because he couldn't handle the heat. And I'm
You
just
did
sitting there.
Bikram too.
Yeah, I was just
Which
sitting there
is
trudging
impressive.
through it. I need to go back. I think I can beat some more people.
Bikram is like designed to give you a heart attack. I cannot believe that that's like something that these gyms just sanction.
It's so hot.
It's so hot and strenuous.
You get really like bendy in it, like more than normal. The heat really helps with that. All right, let's go to number 6.
Yeah.
For me.
Number 6 for you.
We're done with yoga talk.
We're done with
Oh.
the yoga podcast will be a couple weeks from now.
Yeah, types of yoga. My number 6 is a game we used to play when I was a kid at like family get-togethers. So I guess it's a family party game, and it's I don't think people don't play it as much anymore. It's Yahtzee. Just classic dice game, nothing fancy about it.
Okay.
It's not really the most fun
Yahtzee
game.
has no board. Wait, isn't there a board with Yahtzee too?
No, man, you just have
No.
dice, 5 dice, and you're just like trying to beat people's cards. You could gamble with it, but we didn't gamble with it. I mean, you can gamble with any game, right? I think now that I'm selling you on Yahtzee, I totally overrated it. I immediately regret this decision.
Wait, speaking of selling, totally off topic. Did you buy a new car?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you get?
2012 Subaru Outback. Got a dad mobile.
You are so hip.
Man, we just couldn't fit 2 car seats in our other car.
I think Subarus are kind of cool, but not as much as my neighbors in Andersonville do.
I think they're cool too.
I'm sure it's got all the bells and whistles.
Not all of them. We got like it was like the mid package, right?
You got a Bluetooth?
Yeah, my last car had that.
Oh, okay. See that? I don't. The bus doesn't have that when I ride it.
You should really think about getting that.
You should. God, CTA.
I could just get you a headset, a Bluetooth headset, if you need that for the bus.
Oh, it just reminded me of someone from our office that I didn't like.
Bluetooth, and you look like you were from the future when you had a Bluetooth headset in your ear. The near future of 2007.
The only people that should be wearing Bluetooth headsets are cab drivers. That's the only place that I'm really on board. If you're walking down the street in one, I hope you walk off into traffic, probably.
Yeah,
Would
my
probably be
dream has always
accurate.
been to see a guy on a Segway with a Bluetooth headset and Google Glass. Like, he's from the future.
He's from the future of the future of kind of shitty innovation. Like,
Yeah,
not the future of the Jetsons, of things that are like unnecessary and don't really make anything better.
So like a year ago, there was a guy I would see on the way home from work who had Google Glass, and he just looked like a fucking idiot. He was always like kind of looking up, like in the corner of his eyes. I just assumed he was watching porn all the time too.
Meanwhile, you're reading your phone quite adequately.
Yeah,
have
it's a way bigger screen.
look like a normal person and have a much better grasp of your surroundings, while that guy just got stabbed in the back of the face
And somebody
or the back of the head.
and stole his $1,500 Google Glass or whatever it was.
They're like, you're invited to buy this product that no one needs or wants. Lucky you.
Yeah, as soon as it came out, I'm like, this is the new Bluetooth headset. I can't wait for the next one. I don't think the Apple Watch is going to be that because Apple's got people brainwashed, and it's not as it's like not as like weird on your face, right?
It's still stupid.
It's stupid, but it's going to sell because it's not like just like a weird thing you wear on your face.
Because Apple is like technology Scientology. They have, you're right, they have people brainwashed to just give them money for frivolous shit they do not need.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it'll sell, but I don't know if it's going to be as big of an instant hit like they think it might be. We'll see.
Well, they think it's the new iPhone.
Yeah, it isn't though, because you need an iPhone to use it. You can't use it without an
thinking the way
iPhone.
it's going to revolutionize the product it was more referring to, but
Yeah, we'll see. All right. They really haven't blown the doors off anything since Steve Jobs died either, by the way. Like, what's
No,
the
I mean-
new? They haven't had like the new innovation. They've just had like updates to their other stuff.
the iPad was up before his.
Yeah, Jobs got that out.
Okay.
They just made
Yeah.
like a bigger iPhone and a smaller iPad. It's like what they done since Steve Jobs died. Like that's it. So we'll see if, but they're printing money. Tim Cook's printing money. He's not coming up with anything. So whatever. I'm sure his investors are happy. All right, my number 5 is Jenga.
I was remiss in not putting that up.
Jenga is kind of fun. It's annoying though because like there's always like it's at like a party and like when you're playing it, people are like bumping into you and like you don't want them to knock over the thing. And the problem why Jenga's not ranked higher is because the better version of Jenga is Beer Jenga, which is a drinking game.
They have the oversized Jenga at the bar, the River Shannon on Armitage.
I really enjoy oversized Jenga.
It's also just challenging the drunkest guy in the bar to come over and ruin your time, unless you are that guy, and then you're just feeling challenged to do it.
For anybody who's never seen oversized Jenga, it's like how much bigger would you say? It's like when it's stacked up when you start, it's probably like 3 feet tall.
Yeah, I'm like looking around my kitchen for a frame of reference. Like maybe they're like macaroni and cheese boxes.
Yeah, or like bricks, the size of brick, maybe a little
Or
bigger than bricks. But they're
Or
wood.
something a little more practical.
Yeah,
They're very light.
yeah. It's a little harder, I think.
It's more fun. That's a way more social version of it than.
I agree. It's a better version of Jenga.
But it's so Jenga's the original. In this instance, unlike Cards Against Humanity, the sequel is better than the original.
Yeah, or just kind of has a different use. Like you use it like outside, like on a patio, and Jenga maybe is in somebody's house. All right, man. What's your number 5?
This is the one I found on Pinterest that I've never heard of. I had to.
I'm excited.
I had to bookmark it. Basically, it sounds like fraternity hazing.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
It's called Duct Tape Game. The way it works is one member of your team volunteers to be duct taped to an apparatus, and you have a certain amount of time to tape them to the apparatus. Like the example they use is a tree, which is why it just sounds exactly like fraternity hazing to me. And when the time is up, if they can hang on the apparatus without support of people.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and so now I have it. Like you're allowed 10 rolls of duct tape, but it depends on how many teams are playing. Usually 3 rolls per team. Bare walls or trees are preferable, although the duct tape may rip the paint off the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can also do it to a chair. I don't know if I'm reading that correctly, or it's just something that's necessary, maybe. And okay, so everyone in the teams of 6 or 7 evenly distribute the duct tape to each team. Explain the game, which I still don't entirely understand. Each team has 5 minutes to tape a teammate to the wall or tree. Afterward, the person is able to remain on the wall or the tree without any help the longest. So if there's more than one, that team wins.
So I've seen people taped to walls. So this must be from this game, right? Like I've seen pictures of people taped to walls.
Or like some weird public flogging. I don't know.
It sounds really fun to be a part of.
Except to be the guy who gets taped.
You know, there's like some dude who wants to do that.
Like Steve-O. I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean, I assume you're getting taped over your clothes. It's not gonna like rip your like.
I understand
hair
that.
off.
I mean, also you and I are too big. We would never be the guy to get taped. It would be way too hard to tape us.
Yeah, and like I assume if you're like doing with a wall, at least a tree might be a different story, but like a wall, I assume you could get off no matter what.
Yeah,
A
very
tree,
true.
I feel like you could get stuck on.
A tree is like something that like a drunk kid does, wakes up 3 days later and like on the precipice of depth, and
Yeah,
then that said fraternity gets suspended.
yeah, like a wall, you could like. I think you could get yourself off. It would always be fun to try to get yourself off the wall, but I think they could get you stuck on. Like the tree, I don't understand the game because I don't. I feel like if you're good, they're never coming down.
It's. I mean, all I can picture is just wrapping the tape around the tree over and over again. Obviously,
And like under your armpits and stuff, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be into play this game though if anybody wants to set it up and volunteer to be the person to be taped.
Okay, that was
And-
a pretty good. That was a pretty good find. You gotta admit, it almost made
It was.
It
And
almost made
volunteer
joining
a
pictures
wall.
worth it.
If you have a wall and a person willing to be taped, I'm there to play this game.
No married man is allowed to do this. I can tell you that right now. Not because of the taping part, because of the wall part.
We could do it on a brick wall, maybe.
Yeah.
Outside. Nice sunny day. Drinking some shandy.
Now I just like to talk about the differences in life. If that was happening in like Kenwood and the police rolled by, how would they react versus if it was happening like Lakeview? I'm just gonna say differently.
Yeah. Differently, I think.
Differently would be my answer. But either way, the cops should be suspicious and angry and like inquisitive.
Oh yeah, those drunk kids in Lakeview are gonna do something against the law before the day is over. 100%. All right. So is it you on number 4?
It is, and it's less exciting. And I don't even like this game, but I put Cranium, which is kind of like a mix and mash of like charades, name that tune, Pictionary. It involves sculpting.
So I've never played Cranium, so I know of the game. I didn't really know like what it was about. It doesn't sound that good. It sounds like you will regret this rating.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think now I just think duct tape game should be number one.
I kind of feel like it should be too.
So now I feel like, you know, this is going to be one of the great what ifs of my life. What if I ranked this list wrong?
Yeah, Cranium doesn't really sound fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Also, I suck at drawing and sculpting, but I don't know anyone who's actually good
Yeah,
at
I
making,
didn't
like-
put Pictionary on my list because it doesn't sound fun. And I've actually never played Pictionary in my life. It's always being played on TV shows on bad sitcoms at dinner parties.
You know what it is? It's like the game they're playing when they get in a fight it's always like, how did you not know what that was? We're getting a divorce.
Well, the game I'm playing when I get in a fight is in one of my next two.
Oh, I'm very excited for this.
So before we get to that one, my number 4 is I don't know. I think these are the same thing, so I just put them together. It's a White Elephant / Yankee Swap.
I couldn't decide if that should count.
It's a game, right?
To me, it felt like it was only Christmas related, but
You know, it's still a game, I think. The problem with it is that you have to wrap something.
yeah, I don't do that.
And I'm always gonna like some people like go buy like something funny. I just junk from the house 100% of the time every time.
Oh, that's way better.
I think it's
Because
more
then
fun.
it's also your gain by it's your addition by subtraction to your life. If you buy something, you still have all of your crap you don't like.
Yeah.
If you use something from your house, you have one less thing you don't like.
We had like a holiday thing with some of my friends from college, the girls who I lived next to, and we've done it every year. And this bottle of Malort's been passed around like for a few years in a row, just less Malort in it every year.
Let's not
Our sponsors-
our best lead on a potential sponsor is Malort. So it ages fine with time.
Listen. I took the Malort last time. I stole the Malort so I could have it, Malort, and I'm not bringing it back next year. I think
No, 'cause you
everybody
have
should have.
something worse that you want to give them.
Yeah, Malort. I don't know why you wouldn't have a bottle of Malort in your house. There's nothing better than when you find somebody who doesn't know what it is.
It's just the whole novelty. They have to know it's terrible, but it's making money.
Yeah, man. Their like slogan was like "kick your mouth in the balls."
It's like the liquor version of the Expendables.
Yeah, in our fantasy football draft, every
Kick your
year.
mouth in the balls is really their slogan. I want to work. I want to work at that ad agency.
It's
That
not
is
an ad
where-
agency. They have like a party at like maybe like Patty Long's or something like that every year, like a
I've always
Malort
heard that
fest,
the guy who owns Petty Longs owns Malort. I don't
like a
know if that's true or
Malort
not.
fest, and they like try to come up with a new slogan every year or something, and it's something ridiculous. But at our fantasy football draft every year, if you pick a guy who's already been picked, you have to do a shot chosen by the person who already owns the player, and it's usually a Malort shot.
That's fair because that's really annoying. Pay attention, people.
All right. So my number 3 is a game that spawned the biggest fight between me and my wife. This was before we were married. It's categories. Which first off, let's get one thing straight. The fact that the biggest fight we've ever been in is about a party game is probably a good thing for me, and I'm not going to complain about that. So here, categories, I don't know why I like it. I'm not even good at it, which is usually I don't like things I'm not good at. But so if you haven't played categories, it's like they give you there's all these categories, right? Hence the name is categories. And before the round, you like roll like a die or something, like a giant die that has a bunch of letters on it. And whatever letter comes up, you have to like list the things in categories, right? You have to list like whatever, like it's like junk food, like I don't know, like city in California. I don't know, like weird things. And if the letter K comes up, you have to write things that start with K. And if you write like something that has 2 words and each of them start with K, you get 2 points. But if you write the same thing as somebody else, neither of you get any points. So the big fight me and my wife had was in a game. It was junk food was the category, I believe. And the letter was C, and she wrote Cheetos, and I wrote Crunchy Cheetos. And I assumed that means I get 2 points and she gets 1. And she claims, mind you, she was beating me at the time. She didn't want me gaining any ground. That neither of us get any points because it's the same answer. But Crunchy Cheetos is a more specific thing than Cheetos. But she claims regular like when you say Cheetos, you mean Crunchy Cheetos.
I mean, that's like saying apples to apples is Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah. Now, basically, we were fighting so much that nobody else playing wanted to get involved when the game was over. And some people there thought we staged this fight so we could get everybody to leave so we could like hook up, which was not the case at all.
That would be like really awesome and diabolical.
Not the case at all. Like at one point I said I had to go to the bathroom and like went and pulled up something on a computer screen with like that showed the difference between Crunchy Cheetos and Cheetos Puffs. And in the end I just got really mad that I didn't use the answer of chili cheese corn chips, which would have been an amazing answer.
And you would have avoided the fight entirely.
Yeah, but I actually, in retrospect, I liked that this fight existed. I know I can't really like I can't explain to you how big this fight was, but it lasted like days. And
You guys
now
were you guys living together?
no, we were not living together yet. And that was the last time we've ever played categories together. We actually don't do well playing games against each other because I'm super competitive and she kind of is too.
Yeah. It's going to be a dog-eat-dog world for those twins.
I'm not going to let them win. You got to earn it.
Well, they're trying to compete for both your love, and it will not be easy to earn. Exactly.
I can't wait till the first time I play a one-on-one basketball game with one of them. If you think I'm letting them score, you're wrong.
Mike Birbiglia has this great bit about how he went on vacation with his girlfriend, and they played one-on-one. And he's like, so I did what any guy would do. I beat her ass.
I'm gonna feel like Bill Russell playing defense against these kids.
Oh, I used to babysit for like third graders, and I destroyed them. And one of them became a Division I college basketball player.
That's amazing.
And I take credit for it all the time.
Yeah, you can't go easy on them. Then they think they're better than they are.
It's also because of me that he grew to be 6'10".
That said, and then it makes it like more special when they beat you, and more depressing for myself if it ever happens.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking
All
of a
right.
scene from The Great Santini. It's a really depressing scene, so we won't go into it.
Neither of my little brothers have ever beat me in one-on-one basketball.
The last time Sean and I played, he doesn't listen to the podcast, so he won't be able to refute this. I won, which for us, we had he won more often than I did. He's a much better athlete. And he would not concede defeat because he had yet to dribble after the check. So you see what me, once you make a move, if you do like a stutter step, the ball is live. And I slapped it out of his hand and took it in for a layup.
And then you never played him
He
again.
says, and I caught the ball and I ran inside, and we were adults. And I did this.
So, a while ago, I have something of that nature. Me and my brother, my younger brother, who
Old
works
house.
out. My younger brother, who works out all the time, arm wrestled, and he's much bigger than me. He's like 6'4", and works out all the time. And I beat him, but he claims I went early in this arm wrestling match. ripped my t-shirt off, and I refused to arm wrestle him again ever since.
Was that easy to do?
No, it was not.
Was it at least a V-neck? Maybe you get a little start with a V.
No, it wasn't. It was probably my greatest feat of strength ever, back to back, beating him in arm wrestling and then ripping my t-shirt off. It took a long time to rip off. Let's get that straight. It wasn't one of those like Hulkamania shirts that are like ripped in the back. All right. What is your number 2? Is that where we are?
Number 3.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, we got 3 and 2 for you.
Heads Up, which I'm guessing is going to be on your list, but maybe not.
I've never heard of it.
It's that game you play where it's the game from Inglourious Bastards, where you put a famous person on your head, but now you can play with a cell phone. So you're this person, and then you have to guess who you are, and you ask questions, and that's how you guess who you are.
I've never played that game in my life.
It's awesome.
The only time I've ever even heard of it is from Inglourious Bastards.
It's also a lot like Catchphrase the way it's played now.
So
you would hate it. Yeah. And my number 2 is the name game. And what you do is you write down the alphabet, and then you just take a random magazine or book, and then you just write down the words, 26 letters consecutive to each other. And then, like, let's say you get like, I don't know, AG is your first one. So you're like, I don't know, Andrew Galata, famous boxer, of course, or something. Then BD is your next one. So you do like Belle DeVoe without the Biv. I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing here. Boris Diaw.
Okay.
And you name as many as you can, and it's like category scoring. It doesn't count if someone else gets them and things like that.
Okay, no, that's not a terrible game.
No, we played it. It's actually been good for like going away to like cabins where you're kind of restricted with like a group of friends, and like it doesn't require a ton of effort or attention.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not bad. It's like the drinking game. You ever play the drinking game where you like name celebrity names? And like I would say, like if I said Boris Diaw, you would have to say a name that the first name started with a D.
Like David Letterman.
Yeah, and then it would go to the next person. But then if you do a double letter one, it doubles back on the person.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of in the same vein as that, but not exactly. All right. So am I on my number 2?
You're on your number 2.
I think this game is called Celebrity. Do you know what that game is?
It's kind of similar to the name game that I described, no? Or the Heads Up game. It's actually the exact same thing, right?
No.
Okay.
It's a game where you all write down like names of like celebrities, right? Put them into a pool. It's like a combination of a lot of these games.
Oh, I have played this game. This game is fun.
And like the first round is basically like catchphrase, right? Like you just like you describe it, but you can't say the person's name. and then you all go through, and then you put the back in the middle, and you play with teams or whatever, and then you do it again, and like the next round is like charades. Does that sound right?
Yes.
But it's the same name, so like you kind of have an idea of what names are in the pool now, right?
You know who you're picking from, yeah.
And then the third round is you say one word.
Okay. I played
I'm
that
sure
game.
people play this different ways too, but
I played that game recently, about a year ago, and a friend of mine and I both put Jimmy McNulty as a person. There were 2 Jimmy McNultys.
that's
and
amazing.
we were the only one who would have got it.
That's great. All right.
It's a detective from The Wire for those who don't know.
If you don't know.
If you listen to this deep into our podcast, you probably know who Jimmy McNulty is. I'm just going to throw that out there.
All right. My number one's a weird game that I don't know if you know. It's a game we now play at some family holiday things when people get drunk. It's not a drinking game, but it usually happens when people get drunk. It's another dice game like Yahtzee. It's called Farkle.
Okay, no, never heard of it.
It's similar to Yahtzee, except you use 6 die, and the difference is so there's like all those different categories of things you could score like Yahtzee, but you're not checking them off your list. You're trying to do as many as you can, but there's kind of like a risk-taking element to it where you can keep rolling the dice over and over again if you clear all 6 off the table. So you can keep rolling up these big numbers and like risk a lot of it. And I enjoy it because I claim to be very, very, very good at this game, and it's just a dice game. But I claim to be good at it because I just try to mentally fuck with everybody when they're playing. And I'm really obnoxious.
You claim to be good at a game of 100% chance.
It's not 100% chance, and that's what people get mad at me because they're like, you can't be good at it. It's chance. But I'm like, then why do I keep winning? It's not 100% chance. There's some math in it. I know when to stop and when to roll. And there's a mental edge where I'm just getting in people's heads and making them make bad plays. Everybody else is playing it like a game of chance. They're playing checkers. I'm playing chess. I think I really just like it because I've become good at a game of chance.
Your winning percentage. You like it because your winning percentage. The first time I went to a casino, I played a game called Caribbean Stud. I won like $400. Every time I've gone back to a casino since, I've played and gotten my ass kicked because this is like one of the worst odds games at the casino.
Oh, I have one of those. It's called Let It Ride.
Yeah, it's like a gimmick game.
But I'm awesome at that game too. I've won it multiple times. The odds are terrible. The first time I played it, a guy sat next to me, won $4,000, and he almost in like that shitty casino in Vegas.
O'Shea's.
People play beer pong, yeah. And he almost cut my hand off, giving me like a high five because he hadn't cut his nails in God knows how long.
That casino is awesome. It closed and reopened.
It's back. Yeah,
it's back. It's actually making me want to go back to Vegas.
They made my brother stand up from the table when he was eating a Whopper that he bought inside of the casino.
Hey, you got to have standards in Vegas. It's a classy place.
All right, man. What's your number one?
This is funny. I didn't plan this, but I'm so glad it worked out this way. My number one is catchphrase.
Why?
Because it's easy, requires no setup. There's no competition. It's communal. It's fun. It's energetic. It's the least party-killing game of the party games, and party games kill parties.
I've never been to a game that catchphrase doesn't kill a party.
I've never been able to call a party unless it has catchphrase.
Oh my God. I don't ever want to go to a party with you.
It's clearly happened.
My rule is that a party has to have either somebody that nobody knows at it to be a party or taco dip. So if I eat taco dip by myself, I could have a party.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the yelling of answers and the buzzer. I feel like I would like it more without that little disc in my hand that's being passed around. It's like an orb of power that gives people power. They feel important with it, that they're giving it away and passing it around. And really, isn't the best strategy in that game?
I'm honestly, until there's 2 seconds left. If you just play to win, that's the move.
Yeah, you just hold it. If it's an easy one, say it and then pass it over. And you're a dick. But that's what I'm going to do every time I get forced to play it from now on.
I'm glad I've made you make party games less fun because that's hard to do.
I hate that game. I feel like I played it a million times and only once did we play with like where somebody was like a winner.
You're supposed to have teams.
Yeah. Something like you alternate, right? Like you're supposed to alternate the people going around in the circle.
Yeah.
Oh man, that game.
It's terrific.
Oh, it's the worst, man. All right.
I didn't even include any improv games on here.
Oh, Zip Zap's up. If somebody played that at a party, I'd lose my mind. That was on a list when I looked up party games.
I have spent a lot of time doing improv, and I have not come around on that game.
Freeze tag?
Freeze tag's more fun.
Freeze tag's better than Zip Zap's up.
Freeze tag's more fun.
All right, man. I guess we should wrap this up so we can watch the Bulls game. So, but before we do that, if you've listened this far, I'm guessing you at least kind of enjoyed listening to us. And you should like our Facebook page if you haven't already. You should
write a review. Write a review.
Please review us on iTunes if you like this. Like it takes like 2 seconds. You don't have to write an in-depth review. Just click 5 stars if you think it's 5-star worthy, and write something quick. It takes like no time. You can do it on your phone. You can do it wherever. That would be awesome. Subscribe to it already on iTunes if you haven't, or if you have an Android phone, you can subscribe to it on Stitcher. It's a really good app, actually. You can follow us at Twitter. It's at First of the Worst. You can follow me at Arendass, Arendass. I will be probably tweeting a lot about NBA players and making fun of and getting really mad at LeBron James for the next 2 weeks.
I can't wait.
You can also follow Brendan at Shy_Murph, CHI Shy. Yeah, and that's what's going to be going on. So I'm going to get out of here, and hopefully the Bulls are winning right now.
Yes, that'll be wonderful. Thanks for listening, guys. We will talk to you next week. And we were always looking for good suggestions of lists. So if you wanted to interact with us that way, that's a good one.
That would be awesome. All right. Later.